Hey, whoa, it's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. It is a Wednesday, and it is June 11th, 2025. And I am with, per usual, wait, who is this? I don't think I remember this person. It is WD Creative _ish, Robert Carpeles. Robert, how are you?
I'm doing well. I was busy performing as El Grande Americano, so I was unavailable. Told you it wasn't Gable.
Dang it! I thought it was. Well, welcome back.
Dom, what's going on with your Wi-Fi? Did your Wi-Fi forget that I was here and got all excited?
I think it is. Why, chat? Who's it? Because you're choppy on my end. Who's choppy, guys? Who is choppy here? Is it me?
I don't know. I just recorded a 2-hour episode of Working Stiff, and it was working just fine. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what the chat has to say. We'll say hi to some chat folks in here. Triple E says, "What's up?" Wrestling Old Ed says, "AEW Summer Blockbuster set should be an homage to Blockbuster Video." Am I right? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, it should be. Ron Ward says, "Hey, Dom, who the hell is that next to you?" Exactly. We clarified it. It's El Grande Americano. Wrestling Old Ed says, "Mr. Carpless with a more shopping return than Gunther beating Jey Uso." And Devin Dowling, shout out to him. Shout out to Willie. Hey, so Robert, there's a lot to cover. What did you think of this WWE weekend? It was quite fruitful. Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank. Then you had Raw afterwards. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah. So briefly, people are saying I'm choppy. Am I choppy, Dom, or can you hear me?
Yeah, you're choppy. You are choppy. You want to exit and come back in, Robert? Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully he'll be back. We'll see. I'm excited to see. Yes, the only Blockbuster, Triple E discovered this the other day. I think it was him. The only Blockbuster video in the state of Oregon. How about that? My goodness. I love Blockbuster video. Here we go. Robert.
Hey, there we go.
There we
go.
Okay. Try it out. Let's see. Well, yeah, let's get your thoughts on the weekend there, Robert. Oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was a what?
Still a little choppy.
This is remarkable.
See, Robert leaves, and then they take the internet away from him. That's what happens.
Yeah. So
oh, there he goes. Let's see. Robert being El Grande Americano might be better than Gene Okerlund being Rey Mysterio Jr. Oh, you guys had movie gallery, Devin Dowling. Wow. We actually never had a Blockbuster in my area either. But... All right. Hey. Much better.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with the Wi-Fi. It appears that AT&T is doing some fiber optic installation, and it's affecting everything else. So,
oh no, is that a Bluetooth segue?
That would have been a fantastic Bluetooth segue, Dom. But I'm out of practice. I don't even have the Bluetooth up and running. So if you want to do it, by all means, knock it out.
Actually, are they on our tap? I don't think they're on tap this week.
You have it listed as being on tap for today. So what do I know?
Oh, maybe they are. Yeah, I'll have to do some ad reads here in a second. Robert, let's get your thoughts though. Let's quit making the fans wait. What do you think? What was your weekend like for wrestling watching and all that stuff?
Look, I think that there was a lot to take away from what WWE did this past weekend and this past Monday to show that they have a clear vision and a direction going forward. A lot of our predictions that we laid out last week going into these shows came true. The men's side being Seth Rollins, women's side being Naomi. That was my prediction on Working Stiff, and nailed that. The fact that we got the return of R-Truth or Ron Killings or whatever he's going to be going as right now was an interesting decision on WWE's part. The way that they've positioned this, whether or not this was truly the plan all along, or they really did fire him and then lost confidence in their position and decided to bring him back. A lot of interesting moving pieces as far as that goes, but the big takeaway was those men's and women's Money in the Bank matches truly over-delivered. They had ramifications coming out of them that we got to see play out on Raw. And the fact that we now have a babyface Jacob Fatu. We got a great bloodline, dangerous alliance showdown, and momentum going forward for both the men's and the women's titles.
Yeah, I thought it was a very beneficial weekend and lots of good storytelling. I thought Raw as a follow-up was great. I mean, there was a lot to take away from what happened on there as well. I mean, Gunther, the new champion, back in the mix again, finally, it seems like. What did you think of that?
On Working Stiff, I had predicted, and I think I predicted it here at one point, what ideally made the most sense and what felt like they were building to was Jey Uso was constantly overexerting himself and putting himself into positions and situations he did not need to be in, and he was going to physically deteriorate to the point where Gunther was going to be able to pick the bones. I assumed Jey was somehow going to overcome the Gunther challenge, and while he's lying there, broken on the mat, Rollins would have cashed in and won the world title. That felt like the smarter play. However, there is the fact that we do have Saturday night's main event coming up, and it feels like they really want to do Goldberg's last match against Gunther. And I guess the feeling was we got to do that for the world title.
That does make sense. When is that? When is Saturday night's main event? Do you know?
It's the same weekend as the Women's Evolution, which I think is also the same time as All In.
Oh, correct. So, yeah. Oh, yep. So that'd be July 12th weekend. That whole weekend going on.
Something like that.
Regards Becky Lynch winning the Intercontinental Championship against Lyra Valkyria. Thinks it's a good move. Getting things going a little bit with her, or where you at? And Bayley.
I think the crowd is really into what Lyra and Becky have been putting out there. I don't think you needed Bayley.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there's that.
I think that putting her with Becky though kind of re-elevates Bayley again. I think you get her kind of back into somebody with a top star and a top name. You can create another good feud with those two, I think. So I think the potential is there for Bayley. And I like what they're doing with Lyra Valkyria. I think they're establishing her very well. And I see why they keep riding with her too. She's got a lot of potential, I think. I just think more story aspects of it all and getting her personality through.
I think the crowd is accepting more of Lyra Valkyria. I think they are enjoying the story with her and Becky. I just don't know that you necessarily needed Bayley right now to, kind of bail out the story.
Yeah. Wrestling Old Head presents an interesting question regarding your babyface Jacob Fatu. Is Hikuleo going to replace Jacob Fatu as the Art Flores of the Bloodline? That's a deep cut. Art Flores was in WCW's LWO, friend of Eddie Guerrero. I know you know.
If you know, you know. Yes. I think they need somebody. I think that they pulled the trigger on the Jacob Fatu babyface turn a little early for my take.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that maybe this means that Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are going to be healthy and ready to go sooner rather than later. Maybe it's going to be Hikuleo who's going to step into that role as well. But I think that you need to stack the deck against Jacob Fatu. If that is, in fact, the story they're telling, it feels like that'll be a good match for Night of Champions in Saudi, where there's another title match that we're going to see in Saudi Arabia, Dom.
Yes, it was revealed it will be CM Punk challenging John Cena for that WWE World Heavyweight Championship and Saudi Arabia. I thought the opening segment was great between those two. I think John Cena, despite some criticisms that maybe are coming with this heel run, he says a lot of creative things, I think, in regards to getting his intentions across, so to speak. And I think CM Punk was a great compliment to that in that segment. You obviously have that extra added dynamic of CM Punk being critical of Saudi Arabia and now going to Saudi Arabia, but I don't really fault him too much for doing what he's doing, basically.
Well, I like that John made it part of the story. That it was, all right, hero, you wanna take this title, you want to be the savior. You're gonna have to go show up in Saudi Arabia and be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't love that the match is happening in Saudi Arabia. I think this is the kind of match that if you're going to get one last John Cena CM Punk match, it deserved to be in front of an audience on a more global level where they can truly appreciate it. We're not flying to Saudi Arabia for this match, Dom.
No, that is not happening. Rumor and Innuendo will not be there. That is not Rumor and Innuendo. Yeah, I could have envisioned it's being seen a Punk at SummerSlam or something like that. So it does feel like a takeaway in regards to
they're making the Saudi royal family feel like they're getting their money's worth. So I can appreciate that, but it is sort of at the expense of the audience, and that's the thing that kind of bugs me.
Yeah. Any other big takeaways from the weekend? What did you think of Worlds Collide and that the identity they're carving in with that?
Dude, the number of people who texted me about an iguana and I had no idea what was going on. Good for that guy. That's maximizing your minutes right there. That is what you need to do if you are a wrestling talent. Is you're going to get a chance on TV. I'm going to make the most of that. And that dude dressed like an iguana with a pet iguana was the star of the weekend. I mean, the other star of the weekend, I think the Vikingo Chad Gable match was tremendous. The speculation from Wade Barrett about the size of Chad Gable's nipples versus El Grande Americano's nipples is a JFK assassination level conspiracy theory.
Don't know if I want to watch that Zapruder film.
I don't like that his nipples go back and to the left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So there was a lot of big moments that came out of this weekend, and it's sort of unfortunate that the next PLE is Night of Champions, which comes with a lot of baggage. But now there is that intrigue of when will Seth Rollins cash in and take the inevitable title. I talked about it with Scott Chaplin on Working Stiff. We posited a couple of theories, so you can go catch that when Dom puts that up later on today.
Oh, yeah.
But there's other wrestling going on this week, including 4 hours of our friends at All Elite Wrestling.
Oh my gosh, yes. AEW Dynamite, the summer blockbuster. Robert, were you a fan of Blockbuster Video when you were growing up?
Blockbuster Video, wow, what a difference. Love Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a large reason why I had wrestling fandom.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, is that where you got a lot of videos?
That's where you were able to go rent a lot of VHS tapes, because back in the day, kids, when there were 4 WWF pay-per-views, those were expensive. And I wasn't shelling out the $30, $40, whatever it was for the big 4. So you would get the WWF magazine, you get the still photos, you'd get the recaps on Superstars or Challenge or whatever it is, and then you could go to Blockbuster and rent SummerSlam 91 and then go watch it.
That's it. So we didn't have a Blockbuster in my hometown, but then when I moved to Myrtle Beach for a year, they had a Blockbuster there, and I tell you what.
Hold on. What town did you live in that didn't have a Blockbuster?
Have you ever heard of Ridgeway, Pennsylvania?
What a town. The cultural epicenter of Pennsylvania.
Do you know what our school mascot was, Robert?
Of what?
Our school mascot was?
I'm shocked you went to school. No, what was your school mascot?
An elk. We were the Ridgeway Elkers.
So you were a bunch of young bucks.
Hey, there it is. There it is. You know what, Robert? That comment, let alone, got me.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
All right.
You know what's great? Whatever you were just doing did not play the audio, and it looked like you were having a seizure.
Oh my God, really?
So I don't know if that was just on my end or on
I hope it was just on your end, because I'm going to look like Kenny.
All of a sudden, like I literally thought you were having a medical episode, and we were going to need to call. I don't even know if your town has 911, since clearly they didn't have a Blockbuster. They might not have ambulance services.
That's true. We did.
I'm going to assume that was. I'm so excited.
It was. I
Okay.
hope. Oh, Devin says it played for him. Thank God.
Okay, good. It didn't play for me, which, by the way, made it 10 times better.
Oh no.
Probably more entertaining than most of what we're going to get for 4 hours of AEW programming. But there's one match that's particularly intriguing.
Oh, what is that, Robert?
That was teeing you up. Don't forget it. I'll do this.
You do it.
I am really excited to see Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yes. Are you sold on that? Are you really excited for that one?
It's gonna be a hell of a match. It's the dude that I think they should be building the company around, taking on one of my all-time favorite performers in AEW. So yeah, I'm really excited about this match. I thought for sure that was going to be a match we were going to get it all in.
How would you lay this one out? What would you have happen? You got to protect Ospreay, obviously, and going. Well, no, I guess you don't. Well, so what would you do with this?
Dude, I'm in this world of I don't know what the hell they're doing. And it's not in a good way where it's like, ooh, I'm excited to wait and see. It's you're giving this away for free to build to lesser stuff. So I know people think that maybe the Bucks are going to come into play here, and we're going to set up the Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland at All In. I don't know. I mean, look, we're going to watch. My guess is Tony's not going to be able to resist the urge to give us 20 minutes of this match for free.
Absolutely. I definitely would bank on that happening. We also have, and we haven't got your thoughts on her yet, but Thekla taking on Queen Amanada. What do you think of Thekla there, Robert? I hope I'm saying that right.
It's pronounced Robert. You're right. You're saying it right.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we're bringing in a female talent. We're going to build her up. We're going to probably feed her to a champion, and then she's going to be gone for several months.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
But hold on. Camille is calling on line 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Serena Deeb's on line 2. I got Sheeta on line 3.
Yep.
Got Thunder Rosa on line 4.
You got to remember that one.
A lot of ladies calling in here. Oh, Riho. Hi, Riho. Riho is here.
Wasn't there somebody named Nyla Rose too?
I vaguely remember a Nyla Rose and a Britt Baker.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They hoist themselves by their own petard.
Yes, they do, Robert.
And this is another one of these situations where wasn't Lady Frost someone they were building for a little while?
Yep.
Seem to remember that. Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, my brother's fighting her husband in 2 weeks at IWC. Lady Frost's husband, Victor Benjamin, 1-on-1. Book it. Make it happen.
I like that you just assumed that we knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, pronouns, pal. I don't use them. Screw all that stuff. That's for the birds. But we also have Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada, a contract signing, Robert.
Look, if there's one thing that people want to see, that's Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada talk.
Yeah. 2
of the best promos in the business. Awkward high school energy, Kenny Omega, and Kazuchika, I'm just going to stare blankly and then say bitch, Okada.
Did it hit your radar, the little commercial that Kenny Omega did with all the Street Fighter characters, the female Street Fighter characters?
No.
You don't want to see it. It's nightmare fuel.
I'm good. As much as I would have loved to have seen that commercial, sadly, I did not. I did see a man wrestle as a giant iguana, but I did not get a chance to see that creepy ass Kenny Omega commercial. But a lot of what Kenny Omega does is there's a significant cringe factor to it. It's very, very uncomfortable. At least it's a match for All In. I made this point to Scott. I'm like, we're getting, there's 3 matches announced, 2 of which I'm excited about. I think the Mercedes Moné Tony Storm match will be great. I think that this match will be great. And then we have to sit through this Jon Moxley, Hangman Page storyline where I think the audience is going to be rooting so hard for Hangman just to make this stop.
Please make it end. Well, I tell you what, they got some work to do when it comes to making this interesting, because so far they're not doing such a hot job with it. They aren't making a real good case for Hangman being that guy right now, I don't think. And Moxley, obviously, that storyline's just been dead in the water from basically the beginning. So hopefully they can tip the nose back up, so to speak. Hey, Robert, pop quiz. What is the name of the arena that they're playing in tonight?
What is the name of the arena?
It's in Portland.
No clue.
Theater of the Clouds.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. The Theater of the Clouds.
That is my all-time. Wasn't that from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, wasn't that where they? Yeah, they're up and they're
like in the sky, and it was the little girl who wound up being the girl in Last of Us.
Yeah, she was part of the wall people, I think.
I blocked out. Game of Thrones feels like a fever dream that like happened and then it went away, and I have no recollection of like 80% of it because that was some bad booking. What's been some good booking of late is the Hurt Syndicate.
Yes.
For this 6-man tag tonight.
Yeah, we got Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander going up against the Hurt Syndicate. So that's Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MJF. Should be a good one, Robert.
I'm intrigued. I like I like getting a chance to see the Hurt Syndicate working together. I know Mystico is there, and MJF had challenged Mystico, so we're going to see what comes of that. But there's also, for some reason, at equal billing of Swerve and Will Ospreay is Anthony Bowens and Kyle Fletcher.
Yes, that's an odd one. Also, I found it odd to be that Kyle Fletcher has been in AEW for 3 years now. Is that weird to think?
Has he officially been there for 3 years? I know that they were like...
He showed up there for Forbidden Door. I think his first appearance there was there.
That's what I thought. I thought that he was part of the Forbidden Door thing. And now, he's there. He's one of their big rising stars. I'm really interested to see what they wind up ultimately doing with Kyle Fletcher. He's another dude who I think is suffering from Ospreay not getting a title shot. Because I think there was a world where Ospreay would have won the title and you could have done a Kyle Fletcher challenge for it. And that would have been pretty interesting.
That would have been interesting. Yeah. So who knows what they're going to do? Hopefully Tony does know. But we do know it will be 4 hours. And you know what, Robert? Having a 4-hour show, there's nothing perfect about it. But something that is perfect is the Perfect Gene. I have my pair on right now, actually, as a matter of fact. And can't speak highly enough of the quality and what you get with the Perfect Gene, the style, the fit, everything like that. I am not joking, guys, when I say this. It is my favorite pair of jeans that I own. And they will be your favorite pair of jeans that you own too. And if you don't like the size, you don't like the fit, you can always return it and get it readjusted and have it fit to your needs. So it's finally time to stop crunching your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RUMOR15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code RUMOR15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. F your khakis and get the Perfect Gene. All right. I didn't swear like Marcus.
So proud of you. I don't think I've heard you do an ad read. This was like a proud parent moment right here.
Oh, thanks. I know. It's like I got my wings and trying to fly.
Yes, you are the cloud in the sky.
I am. I'm going to fly there. Trying to see if that's all they have advertised for this 4-hour show, Robert. That's all I got.
Well, there's also Tony Storm and Julia Hart.
Oh, yes, that one too. They teased that one a little bit in tag action last week. I don't know if you feel the same way, Robert, but they're really underserving Julia Hart, I think, in regards to keeping her hot, making her feel like a viable. She's in the Lance Hoyt role right now, the Lance Archer.
Wow, Lance Hoyt. There was a way to bring that name back from the past for Lance Archer. Look, I think it's one of those situations where they invested all that time and energy into video packages for her, only to go nowhere. So she's Hobbs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's literally Lady Hobbs, which sounds like a G.I. Joe character.
Oh, Lady Hobbs.
That's a pretty badass G.I. Joe character. And it's, look, it's pretty badass being back here. I missed getting to spend time with you guys. I was all over the place. I was in Raleigh for several days in beautiful Flair country, and I was in New York for a couple of days, and now I'm back here this week. Next week I will be traveling to Iowa for a few days. I know. Yeah. Sadly, not Davenport, Iowa, so I could just walk around like talking like Seth Rollins the whole time.
Oh man. Yeah.
Eh,
Hey.
eh. I'm just gonna walk around just chanting. No, I'm gonna be in Des Moines, Iowa. Yes, you know what's in Des Moines, Iowa?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Maybe a Blockbuster.
They may still have a block. That feels like a VHS town.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But I'll be here. I'll be here for the rest of this week. I'll be here on Monday. Be able to talk about what we see this upcoming SmackDown, to see the follow up for Money in the Bank, especially with what's going on with Cody Rhodes. I guess that guy's got to do something.
If it's something, you'd think, right?
You would think. Well, there is an open slot in the King of the Ring tournament, Dom.
Interesting.
I did see people thinking that was going to be Ilya Dragunov.
I like Ilya Dragunov a lot.
I like Ilya Dragunov too. I'd be a little surprised if that was his spot, but what the heck do I know? What I do know is sitting in Dom's inbox right now is the latest episode of Working Stiff with myself and Scott Chaplin. We cover Money in the Bank in depth. We go segment by segment through Monday Night Raw, and I talk about my experience at the Tony Awards, which was a blast and very wrestling related. And Dom, we will be back tomorrow, as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative_ish X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo and ad-free shows. So on behalf of the man who has been holding it down in my absence, Mr. Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpelis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Good to have you back, Robert. Good to have you back.